Ready for more? Glad you are. So, Phil Lenowitz, who's coming up now, chose OLLI as the final stop of his farewell tour. He gets nervous on stage, so he likes to imagine the audience in their underwear. Really? Hope you dressed accordingly. His unusual sense of humor is sure to make you laugh. Folks, let's hear it for Phil Lenowitz. Careful.
It's true, I do get a little nervous in front of a group like this, and that technique about imagining your audience in their underwear, it helps a lot. So if anyone is wearing black lace underwear, if you'd raise your hand, I want to be accurate in my imagining. And Dan, I'm sorry you didn't finish your bit because I had a good piece for you. I was going to say that I know Dan is wearing his Burger King shorts. You know, Burger King, home of the Whopper. So for me, it's a good time to be old. Today's our wedding anniversary. My wife, thank you. My wife and I have been married for 28 years. Of all my marriages, this is the one that lasted the longest, so far. My favorite things to do in Asheville are visit the Biltmore Estate, ride the Lazoom bus, and go to the orthopedic walk-in clinic at Blue Ridge Bone and Joint. I'm overweight. My doctor says it might shorten my life, but by how much? My life expectancy is 13 3/4 more years. Will it kill me to lose 3/4 of a year? I'll lose plenty of weight after I'm dead. Young people are always trying to help us out. They put up a sign right here in the men's room, right above the sink, with instructions to wash my hands. Wet, lather, rinse, dry. I don't need this kind of instruction from college students. I decided maybe I should help them out. So I went into the student dorms. I went into the men's room. Well, I went into all the restrooms. And I put up a sign in each of the stalls. A 3-step process. Shit, wipe, flush. How hard can it be? Well, someone in the Reuter Center overheard me practicing this joke in our class. And a couple of days later, the sign in the men's room was down. But the signs in the student dorms, they're still up. I can't remember where I put things. I set up a system to put things back in the place where I got them. It worked for a while, but in spite of it, I lost something. It's my waist. I know where it used to be, but it's not there anymore. I looked low and lower. It's still not there. First I thought I had lost it, but then I realized it was stolen by Papa John, Betty Crocker, and the Pillsbury Doughboy. As an older person, I have to get up several times at night to pee. Each time I get out of bed, my old bones sound like Rice Krispies. Sometimes I try to guess which bones and joints are causing that snap, crackle, and pop. So I asked Alexa, which bones and joints crackle when you get out of bed? She said it could be your knuckles, your knees, your back, your shoulder, your hips, your ankles. But in a guy your age, it's probably all of them. And I have magic shoes. On any sidewalk, in any field, in anybody's yard, my magic shoes can find a pile of dog crap and step in it. I'm not wearing them tonight. But I wasn't always old. After graduating from college as an English major, I got a job with the New York Grammar Police. They started me with diagramming sentences. I moved up quickly to apostrophes, commas, and semicolons. They wouldn't let me work on colons because I hadn't gone to medical school. I moved up to the enforcement division, which turned out to be my downfall. They fired me when they caught me with my participles dangling. It's still funny. Then I had a job as a repo man. taking away things people had bought but couldn't pay for. And I was a specialist, not cars or boats, but unusual items. So my first assignment was to repo a chicken coop with the chickens in it. I put it on the top of my Prius, and nobody in Madison County noticed as I drove back to Asheville. When I got home, the neighbors complained about the noise from the chickens. So I knew how to fix that, invited them all over for a barbecue. Just my luck, all my neighbors are vegan. Then I had a job with the Internal Revenue Service. Before I could get the job, I needed a security clearance. So I had my 11-year-old daughter hack into the IRS computer system and give me a top secret security clearance. While she was roaming around in their database, I suggested she authorize a huge tax refund for me. She did, but she kept half the money for herself. She bought a bunch of stuff. It's under a tarp in the garage, and I don't know what it is. But the IRS job didn't work out. They took another look at my security clearance, found out about the dangling participles, and I was let go. Unsuccessful in keeping a job, I turned to crime. I robbed a bank. I brought my girlfriend with me, and she videoed the entire robbery. Unfortunately, she posted it on Facebook. And my wife and the FBI saw it. I was arrested. The judge sentenced me to a year in prison. My wife stood up and said, "That's not long enough." I agreed. I needed to be away from her for longer. That's one of my ex-wives. After my father died, my mother died, my father remarried Beverly. She's in a graduated, multi-tiered, continuing care senior citizen retirement center in Florida. It's a nursing home. She graduated to the level of skilled nursing care. I couldn't make the graduation, but she did send me a picture of her flipping her tassel. She also sent me the new charges for being in the skilled nursing care. I took a look, suggested maybe she should get unskilled nursing care. But she called me the other day, Philip, I have a job at the graduated, multi-tiered, continuing care senior citizen retirement center. I'm in charge of the complaint department. Oh, so people come to you and you solve their problems? Don't be silly. I do all the complaining to management. It's a part-time job now, but I'm working to make it full-time. Well, that's wonderful. What kind of complaints do you have? It's not only my complaints, I complain for all the residents. They pay me for making their complaints, but sometimes they don't have money, so they pay me with prune juice and Depends. Nice chatting with you, Beverly. And marketing and technology and culture have gone crazy. My father's 94 years old. He's not much on technology. He tries to change the TV channels by pushing the garage door opener. He lives alone, so I got him a cell phone so we could stay in touch. It's a flip phone. I got it at an antique store and told him he could use it to call me in an emergency. I tried to call him last week and it went right to voicemail. I was concerned. So I took the next flight to West Palm Beach, drove to his house. He was fine. I said, Dad, what happened? He said, I turned the phone off because I didn't have an emergency. I came back to Asheville in time for my Medicare wellness exam. I like my doctor because he's honest with me. Maybe some of you know Dr. Mendacity. He wasn't in the office that day, so I was going to be examined by Dr. Singh. What I didn't know was that Dr. Singh was a woman, so it was a bit awkward for me when she told me to bend over and drop my drawers for the prostate exam. But to my delight, her slender fingers made it go much more smoothly than Dr. Mendacity's. I have arthritis in my hip, and my orthopedic doctor told me I need a joint replacement. All I had to do was get a hip and he would install it. I looked in the yellow pages. I found Joints R Us, sounded like the place to go. I walked into the store. They didn't have any hips. They sold a different kind of joint. They offered me a couple of tokes. I took the samples and ran to 7-Eleven for a bag of munchies and a supersized Slurpee. Then I went to Costco. They had the hip I needed, but you had to buy a 4-pack. I went online to Amazon. They sell hips, both new and used. They had the hip I needed. It had low mileage and was used by a little old lady to walk to church on Sundays. I'm pretty sure she was a liberal because it was a left hip. With Amazon Prime, it arrived the next day. I checked the expiration date on the box. It said best if used before August 2035. That's perfect for my life expectancy. My men's group was having a political discussion, no surprise. It started to get ugly. Don was calling Joe all kinds of names: idiot, dipstick, dumbass. I decided to mediate. Don, in my experience, name-calling does not facilitate the intelligent discussion of political issues. Don't you agree, you freaking moron? My technology group met to talk about protecting our computers with antivirus software. One of the people uses McAfee, one of them uses Kaspersky. I use Moderna. It blocks the viruses, but you have to download it twice. And every 6 months, it needs an update. But it was too late. I already had a computer virus. I knew how to fix it. I sprayed Clorox into the computer, and it trumped the virus. But it killed the computer. I tried to revive it. I put Viagra into the hard drive, hoping it would get up and running. I waited 30 minutes as prescribed, but the hard drive didn't rise to the occasion. Now I have to buy a new computer. I headed to Best Buy walking with my new hip, but I ended up at a church. I decided to pray. I prayed for an audience that would laugh at my jokes. You answered my prayer, thank you.